Okay guys, it's Igor, and in this part we are going to model this nice, I would say, navigation device. And okay, let's start. Put this aside. And the next thing I need to do, because right now I don't have a geometry node or a container for this object, so we're just going to remind ourselves and just start from a scratch. But this time I'm gonna start with a circle. Okay, and also want to make sure that tool option is set to creating context, and just dive in with your shortcut component, and let's activate our circle. Make sure it's set to polygon and then ZX plane. Great. I will also add some of the divisions, either from here or here, it doesn't matter. Maybe like 48. And I will also reverse our direction of this primitive. Let's select it and let's poly extrude it. Then repeat extrusion, but this time let's make an inset extrusion. Somewhere like this. And because this is a wooden part, you can see here it's a wooden part, I want to make this separate object, and so I'll just cusp my edge. Now this object here is separated object. So now I will use poly extrude again, bring it up, extrude again, bring it inside. I'm just pressing Q to repeat my extrusions. Let's do one more time, somewhere like this, and one more time, and one more. And I would say this is now what we need, with the exception that I also need a hole. So again, extrude. And now I also need this part here, some kind of screw. So I will again press Q, bring this up, but in this case I want to make sure that this polygon is separated from all of these primitives polygons. So let's activate our poly extrude, our last poly extrude, and make sure to output side is disabled. And now we don't have these outside polygons, which means if I go to selection and selecting, double clicking on these two separate objects, we can see that they are not connected. So all these three elements now are simply disconnected. So now we can go back to our poly extrude again and bring this back, and then make one more extrusion and bring this up. And now we have this screw or a bolt as a separate object, which is exactly what we need. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to create this part here, and then I'll go inside. So what I will do, because now there is no primitives to reuse, right? To duplicate, I'll use my construction plane and bring it here. But we can see now that this construction plane is rotated, and if I would add any object here, you can see that that object is then also rotated exactly as construction plane is. So we don't want to do that. So let's repeat our, let's actually undo. Okay, and before we apply construction plane onto this primitive, let's make sure to press and hold Control and then lift mouse button, and now we put this construction plane on this primitive without rotating. So which is exactly what we need. So now we can add a grid and make it much smaller. Now, if your handle is in your way, just press H to remove it. And then H to give it, bring it back. Because sometimes it can be annoying. Okay, we will also make sure that our rows and columns are set to 2. And now we don't need our construction plane anymore. And now we can start building this part here. Actually, we already started, but let's continue. So let's duplicate this to somewhere here. Then let's add another instance of this primitive. Now in selection mode, select this middle one, bring it, rotate it outside, because it's important. And I think this will be okay. Now these two are looking, so these two primitives are looking outside, while this primitive is looking inside. So we need to reverse this primitive too, because then if we don't, our bridge will not work correctly. So now in edge mode, let's select this edge, invoke poly extrude, let's find the destination, press enter. Right, select another edge, press Q to repeat the bridge, select destination, press enter, and that's it. In case if we didn't change or reverse the normal of this primitive, something like this would happen. So you would have to use this option to make it right, but it's better to prevent any issues, so that's why I choose to reverse this polygon before making a bridge. Now the nice thing is, if we go back to our copy, if we want to change how this object is looking, like the height, we can, and you can see that everything follows correctly. And also if we go to edit, before bridge, we can also play with the depth of this polygon, and everything stays as it is. Great. So now I can go back to my last node and just make an extrusion here. Make sure to output back to close the hole. And of course with Shift G, let's just select everything here and reverse my normals. Okay, that looks nice. So now, because I have two different streams, I'll just select everything with N in the viewport and just press T to invoke a tool. In this case, you will invoke edit. And from there, now these two stream nodes are connected and we can continue working on this piece. So what next? Let me tackle this part here. So I can now either reuse here, if for some reason selecting and visibility doesn't switch automatically, and you see the node here, make sure just to set it as display node and things will work. I don't know why is that, probably a bug, but yeah. So because I actually don't need this polygon here, I'll just select this edge and cusp it. And now I have this part separated. So now I can bring everything back And again, if you don't see any changes and you see visibility nodes inside node network, just display the last one and things will be fine. Okay, so let's continue here. Let's bring this down. And let's just extrude. And now I just need a poly bevel. But before I do poly bevel, I think I'll make sure that these are just a little less in resolution. So with Shift P, let's make our pattern, selection pattern, and delete every second edge. And now I think this is better. We don't need that many polygons. So now let's make this like that, and I can also see. I think this looks better. Okay. Let's repeat. Now we can bevel this with middle mouse scroll. Can add more divisions, and that's it. Now let's jump to this upper part, and in this case I will reuse this polygon. Set it here, but I'll use, first I'll make this bigger, and then I'll use align component and put this here and just reverse and poly extrude like this. Then it looks fine. Side, and let's extrude inner or downside. And let me see, now we are having this kind of object that we need. So what I can do is, let me see, I'll delete this part and I'll bring my construction plane here, and also I will bring it up here, and then confirm, then add a sphere. Also, let's make this sphere smaller. Make sure that this is set to polygon mesh. And now, because I have two holes here on this side and this side, I will rotate this sphere like that. Bring it up a little bit to fit. Let's remove construction plane. And to me, this is much smaller. Even more. That. Down. Something like this. So now I can decide to just leave it like this, or we can make even this part. So question is how we can do this. So let me select everything here. And let's try with clip. Bring clip down to somewhere like this. Just bring this up. Oh, I have more real estate to work with. Now bring clip up once again. Bit more. Something like this. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any triangles, and here I can just use fuse in case we have some issues here. So I'll convert this edge to points and simply fuse everything. Let's see if this fusion works. Yeah, no. this value will work. And now I can poly extrude to bottom. Not gonna work with this extrusion mode, not even with this. So I'll need to toggle my front transform, which is this one, and just bring everything down or to something like this. And then select everything and just bring it here. And then I can make this a bit bigger just to fit inside. And yeah, I think that's more than good. Nice. So now I need holes. So what I will do, I will pick my laser select and select these polygons. Now should I select these two or just use these? I think these will be just fine. Let's activate poly bridge, but not on everything. Come on. Let's repeat poly bridge. Select destination, enter, and voila, we have a nice hole here. And let's just use bevel here. And that's it. Now we need this torus. So what I can do, I can again activate my construction plane, and either I can just move it a bit up here if I want, but I don't really need this. And this time we need to activate torus from here, so control left mouse button. Now instead of using these, we can actually scale the torus with a gizmo. It's very convenient. So let's remove our construction plane and just see, orient to X, it up. And this seems okay, maybe a few more columns. Perfect, but we can, I think that, you see, this doesn't really work. So what I need to do, I mean, this would be fine for anything really. But I want to make this actually functional. So what I can do is next, I'll select these and these, and then with H shift, select this middle part, and instead of delete, need to repeat selection. I will use clip like this and move it outside. And now I have this nice straight edge from which I can actually extrude the edges and get the straight extrusion without having a need to, you know, rotate anything, or it's very convenient. But I also need to mirror this part. Let's see. So direction here should be set to Z1. And now if I select these edges, bridge onto these, voila, we have something like this. Bring this down. Let's see if with peak we can make this fit bigger, thicker. Now obviously this is broken, so you guessed it, what we can do. Select everything and then just fuse. That's it. That's everything we need to do, and this part is now done. Awesome. Let's continue. And now I need this part, and then we are doing this middle part. So let's do it. Let's see if here is a connection. No, so let's select everything, press T, L to organize this a bit better, and then we can continue working from here. Now I'll just take this polygon and duplicate, bring it down, subdivide. Now I can use this, or just, if I don't want to use this, I can just select these and again activate edit with T or E or R, then with Shift C make this as a perfect circle. But we will also need a bit more subdivisions, even a bit more. Okay. So we need to repeat, make this smaller, and then with copy just reset the translate, and if it doesn't work, bring it here and just poly extrude. Now we're here. Now if you want to match everything, you obviously can. And with this extrude, I don't believe I need output front. And okay, that looks good. So now I need this middle part. Okay, and for that I need my construction plane, and I need to bring it in the middle so I can use this primitive as my middle point, and then with snapping I can bring this in the middle here, but there are no points, so let's just collapse the edges here like this, and now I can use that point to be my center. Now I can add another sphere, make it polygon mesh, bring it inside, and that's it. I obviously need some columns, so 48 again, maybe some rows too. Or actually, with the rows, I think this will work better, because I just need this middle one. Now I can simply select these outside and just delete, but I actually want to use another node, which is called labs box clip. So let's select the group we want to clip. Let's invoke. Now, unfortunately, this node is invoking in the center and not where our object is. So we need to bring this up a little bit, make this bigger, and then scale this from top to bottom to cut. And here we go. We have this middle part. And no matter how many rows you add or columns, this box clip will stay on its place and will cut anything in its reach. So that's kind of neat. But I also think the sphere should be a bit bigger. Something like this. So also let's make sure that this is bigger too. And a bit more, I think. Okay, that's going to be enough. So now I can extrude, or first I'll copy and then make insides. Just quickly use this to polyfill and use triangle fun without the form patch. Now we have the bottom, and I'll repeat this here too. And I will extrude inner, but I need polygons. Okay, we can make a reselection. And again, let's extrude inside. Let's extrude, or let's inset. Now we will leave this, I would say, for later, or we can once again use our construction plane. Let's constrain our rotation with control. Let's add another sphere. Let's make it smaller. Make it polygon mesh. Maybe add few columns and few rows. And this one we can just clip like this. And I think that will work just fine. Okay, nice. So the next thing, I can make extrusion here, inside or outside, output back. And then I'm left with this part. So let's see if I can reuse this. Just rotate, and of course make it a bit bigger, but only here like this. And obviously I need to make a cut here. So let's clip, bring this down, and I think I can delete these, and also close these. And with edit, if I want to make this like really straight, so with my box selection, F1, my point mode, I can move this, but also so that I don't have to repeat the same action here, I can enable mirror here. And I think this is, yeah, Z, so I need here to be 1. And now you can see that I am mirroring this selection here. And I think I can also move this a little bit up. And maybe this. But I don't think it's really necessary, but I just did it. So let's continue now. I am not sure. Let's see. Let me try select everything and with T just merge. I'll merge this sphere too. Now there is one part that's missing, which I don't know what happened. But I've lost this part here for some reason. Let me see, we'll show all, fix this. Seems like not. Okay, I'll have to repeat it, but actually instead of repeating, I'll just duplicate this part. And because this is a merge node, we are having some issues. So bring this up. And I think this will be fine. Okay, I really don't know what happened here. But yeah, I think I will also delete these two. I don't think they're needed. Or actually maybe be better if they're somewhere here. Just to get a bit better curve, that's all. Okay, nice. So we are left with all of these screws. So let me start from here. So again, let's duplicate. Bring this out a bit. Subdivide. And use this. Sharpen edges boundaries as point attributes. And in this case, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So here we have 8. So let's not subdivide. Let's just add a loop. Middle. And now select T to invoke edit, Shift C. And let's see, will resetting this will work? Nope. So let's bring this back manually. Let's extrude. Output back, yes or no. It's up to you. Now the question is there a hole inside or not? But because we don't see it, let's not use it. So I'll just again duplicate this primitive, make it smaller, and then subdivide it. Select it, invoke edit, Shift C to make a circle. And then from this circle, I will just extrude and poly bevel it. Add some divisions and make sure that all this mess is fixed by ignoring flat edges. We don't need to be extruded or beveled. And to fix this, just bring like that, and or just, let's see if I can collapse all of this. And to just be double sure, I'll just fuse everything. As you see, this part here, it's not good. So what I will do, select all of these, convert to edges, and now run collapse. And now things are okay. Why I'm always using a triangulated fan is because in case I need something from this center, I can always use this point to be my snapping point. That's why I'm always trying to make sure that I have triangulated fan instead of just a quads. It's much more convenient. So here, let's see, let's bring this back. Actually, I select everything and then deselect this part. Just bevel a bit. And that would be it. Here I will leave this. And I also need this part here. So let's reuse this, duplicate, bring it here, extrude. Obviously this doesn't work because this part is not straight, but doesn't matter. We can still extrude with our transform to the front. We can use global. transform space and just bring this here. And make sure to see, where is this? Output front is disabled. And now it's up to you guys if you wanna make this a bit more detail or not. I will not do it, but I will need back here, so I will bring it here and then again use extrude to bring this here, because obviously here we have this bolt seen here. And for this tutorial I will not make a hole here. It's going to take much longer, but it's definitely possible. So right now I will select everything here and just mirror to the, let's see which side. Into 0, I think this side. Now why this is happening, why I need to make changes, is because my object here is actually looking at X direction and not Z. So let's just make sure. But before I do that, if I go out and let's go out and let's make this container smaller, and then with orient picking, let's position it here. And we can see that Z is frontal direction, but this object is not in a correct position here. Now we can rotate it, yeah, but I would rather go inside and then select everything here and then make sure that we are positioned correctly to the frontal Z direction or axis. And then if I go outside, we can see now that everything looks fine, and I can just uniform scale from here, then go back and just continue working. Make sure to save, and that's it. I think here I have a bit too much solution, so I can invoke my selection, but not this much. See if I delete. We deleted everything here, so I'll just invoke extrude, collapse. Now this looks much better. So now let's select all these edges, make a bevel. Same here. Or you can use a group selection, but this will do. With manual selecting will not hurt, because this is also one way you can do things, but usually I would not recommend, because there are other ways more convenient. So just let's make a small bevel. That's it. Okay, the last three things that are left are these bolts here and these. So okay, that now should work. So let me select this, make it straight. And now let's select these. And if you actually extrude inside, you see we have this problem. So I can simply duplicate, extrude, output back, double click, bring this back where I want to cut, and actually use polines but other way around, and make a cut. And now to fix this part from the top, I can simply make a knife cut. That. And just use, make sure everything is okay. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of nice. Now I will need these sides, and again I'll just cusp and use, or no, I will not cusp, I don't need it to be cusp. I'll make everything as one. But let's go, let's hide this primitive. Extrude inner, extrude again, bring it here. Let's disable out front, and voila. If we want, we can select these. And just create a small bevel. And then go all primitives. And voila, that part is done. Let's now mirror. And that's it. And last part is this part, so I can duplicate these. But I will also not extrude, but just fill this part inside. And then use a line component. This is where I need, this is my butt cheek, and now I want this primitive to sit directly on this one. And now if I invoke duplicate, I would just need to reset my pivot to be in center. Control middle mouse button. You can see that the pivot is in the center. And now if I, again, what I can do here, say 360, nothing happens. But if I copy parameter here and then divide with pasted value, paste relative reference. Now I'm dividing here with this total number. I can add even number of these faults. I can also make them smaller. Or I can also just make some changes here to look a bit different. Now I need to go inside of my copy, make sure that are not here. Polyfill, transform, side of this copy. Now we can see that here something is missing, and that happened because this copy is working on a group, and we here changed the group numbers or added more polygons. So that means we need to add these added polygons to this selection. Just press enter and then everything updates. And now we still have one more thing to do, but I will leave this to you guys. It's again 15 minutes, crazy, I know. But yeah, this is modeling, so for the last actually thing, I'll make bevels here. That's all. Now, if you have more than 2 monitors, I have 3 displays. If you see that something like this happens with poly bevel, only thing you can do right now to remove this is to reset Houdini. But of course, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna leave this to you. Add normal if needed. Get down a bit. And once again, make your groups for materials, add materials to your groups, and then create materials. And oops, bring everything into lobs, make sure to save. Let's try to render this out. And yeah, that's it. So obviously we have a problem here, but that's probably we didn't render. We need to set our output node just to sure everything is rendered. And yeah, that's it guys. That would be all for this tutorial. Make sure to stay safe and see you in the next one. Bye bye.